What's going on, everybody? Arneasy here. Want to break down a little bit of the Persona 4 Revival trailer that was released earlier today during the Xbox Showcase. I can understand why it was shown during the Xbox Showcase since Xbox and Atlas have been doing like a bit of a partnership thing. Did the same thing with Persona 3 Reload as well when they showed that trailer. So I did see this earlier, but I'm very excited for it coming out next year. So I want to dive in and just do a little bit of a breakdown of what Persona 4 Revival is going to have, mechanics, art style, things like that. So let's just jump right in. All right.
You ever heard of the Midnight Channel?
Of course, there's definitely going to be new VAs, of course.
On that Midnight Channel before she died too.
So definitely gonna have new voice actors, because I remember hearing something about Yuri Lowenthal saying they was not asked to come back.
Feels like we're someplace totally different. Watch out!
First of all, I want to say I like how the menu here, the UI here, represents a dial. For those that were born probably after 2000 something, a lot of old CRT TVs had dials for channels, volume, things like that. So it's a really nice little touch right there.
Whatever's going on here, we're getting to the bottom of it.
To wield a persona is to wield direct control of one's heart. And the heart is strengthened through bonds.
Doesn't it sound cool?
Someone had to see that.
I will say though, this little UI here, the menuing right here, very reminiscent of how the style was in Persona 3 Reload. A little differently, of course. They're showing a little more here with the character portraits, things like that. So,
Doesn't it sound cool?
Someone had to see that. I'm glad it was you.
Was that supposed to be him?
Good times never seem to last long.
of course, Fishing is back. Get the karaoke. And I really like the fact that they brought back Marie from Golden. So it seems like they are combining both. They're doing this off of Golden instead of like a Persona 3 Reload where it had FES and then like some of Persona 3 Portable, just like a little bit. Of course, there's no female protagonist for it, and there's no Kotone in Reload. But at least with this one, with Revival, they're doing everything from Golden, from what I'm seeing here.
Sure. I can't wait.
So, shall we?
Really? So neat!
Come on, don't call me that.
All shadows were originally born from humans.
Well, then that means Senpai got killed by her other self.
No! Get out of here! Don't look at me!
Does that mean you're just gonna stuff me back in your head and pretend
I do like this song though.
I can't!
Now, I wonder what this meter on the right is going to be. Like, I wonder if that's like a theurgy gauge that was introduced in Reload, Persona 3 Reload. Not entirely sure. I do like the cinematic of that, though.
Right. Which means that
And glad they're doing a baton pass from that was introduced in Persona 5 Royal. And then they changed the shift and Reload. And now they're doing baton pass. I thought they would at least have like a different name for the baton pass. Something, a completely different name. But I guess they probably couldn't come up with a different name for baton pass. So, which it's actually a fitting name. Shift works too, but I think baton pass is just a pretty. It's a fitting name.
we also gotta catch whoever's tossing people in here.
I think I'd like to help too.
And so that bar also appears. Now, I'll say that bar also appears in the infiltration palaces or the dungeons or whatever you want to call it. Things like that. So, but this one, what I saw earlier, this right here, 4 more. I don't know if that relates to the to the baton pass, but I've never seen a 4 more in any Persona game. You know, of course, they've always had the 1 more, you know, things like that. But 4 more, does that mean like, what if you could have 4 more turns, or, you know, you're able to have, you have 4 more baton passes, you know, things like that. So that's, I hope they'll at least, I'm sure that they'll explain that when the game comes out, you know, things like that.
Running away from this. Well, but I have no problem taking down shadows. It's over.
So
It looks like they have like some sort of Theurgy attacks.
let's team up and catch this jerk.
Because in Golden, they did have, you know, like the special attacks you could use, like, you know, Chie's Galactic Punt, you know, things like that. So, of course, there's the Izanagi Cross Slash. And it comes out on the February, which is, you know, what, 8 months away, something like that. So, it's nice to know that it is coming out, you know, next year. So there's plenty of time to play other games before this one, because Persona 4 is a long game. So, you know, gotta be able to prepare for that. Yeah, and of course, it's coming to everything. Of course, day 1 Game Pass for those that have Game Pass. Of course, like I said earlier, it's Atlas partnering with Xbox and a lot of stuff. They did that with Persona 3 Reload. Persona 5 Royal, of course, also was a day 1 Game Pass title when that actually came out to next-gen systems. You know, things like that. So that's understandable why it's going to be a Game Pass title. I'm betting that they're going to have some sort of digital deluxe edition, probably of other Personas coming in for like 3 and 5. Just like they did with Persona 3 Reloads and Persona 5's DLC Personas. Probably going to see, you know, staple Personas and, you know, possibly like, you know, Orpheus, maybe Orpheus Telos, you know, the Personas that belong to everyone else in each of the games, you know, things like that. And probably like Persona 5 and Royal had, you know, the Picaro style Personas. I wonder if they're going to do something similar for the DLC Personas. I know they didn't really do that for Persona 3 Reload, so it could be that they just have their own thing, and there's going to be a lot of broken Personas, definitely. And of course, you know, some outfits, you know, things like that. And I do like this song that's playing in this trailer. So I am looking forward to Persona 4 Revival. I hope that, I'm glad that it is getting some sort of remake or, you know, reimagining of some sort. I will say that Golden was really well done. It did make it better than Persona 4 Vanilla with a lot of things and, you know, stuff like that. So I'm sure we're probably going to have fully voiced social links as well, like it was in Persona 3 Reload. And what's interesting is that it's actually not coming to previous gen consoles like Persona 3 Reload was. So the Reload came out on PS4 and Xbox One, but this one is just ignoring that generation completely. And I'm also seeing that it's not coming to Switch. It doesn't say here, but I don't know if it's going to come to Switch 2. So I don't know if Switch 2 owners will be able to get this game. So it's very interesting that we're not seeing this coming to Switch 2, especially since Reload and I believe Royal also came out on the Switch as well. So for those on the Switch 2, you know, hopefully you're not out of luck on this, you know, things like that. So, but I personally myself am definitely getting it on PS5 or PC. I'm not entirely sure which. I'll probably get them on all of them because I did that with Reload and Royal. So I'm a huge Persona fan, and I wonder who the voice cast is going to be, and I hope they do a great job. Reload's voice cast did a really good job with the characters, and you know, being very close or very similar to how the previous actors were. And I'm sure they're going to bring back some of the OG cast as well for certain characters, like minor characters, you know, things like that. So I'm looking forward to it. You folks are too, and appreciate you folks taking the time to watch this. I hope to be able to do any kind of trailer analysis of some sort or anything like that. So I'll see you all on the next video. Take care. Have a good one now.